Your army ID is expired.
We're in pre-rolls.
Gather resources.
This music feels just a tad bit loud.
Bomb's a tad bit loud. Oh my goodness. I am ready now.
Ad's still rolling.
Wow. Wow. So what you're saying is now I can say shit, fuck, kids, damn.
Yeah, it should still be fine.
Exactly.
Okay,
Good.
we are live.
Disgusting. I'm gonna go home.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 25. You are home. Episode 25 of Scarlet Sash Stories. This is a presentation of Fiends and Friends, which are these wonderful people you see before you here today. And this is in partnership with the ZweihanderRPG people, publishers at Grim and Perilous, and the people Andrews McNeil. And we are here to provide you 3 hours, roughly, of actual play content using the ZweihanderRPG system. My name is Hunter Nedland. I am joined here today by 5 wonderful people. Starting from the upper left and going in counterclockwise order, we have Nathan, Topher.
Why is it always me first?
Next time we'll start at the bottom.
God.
We've got
I don't wanna
Nathan,
be last.
Topher, Cody, Chris, and Ignacio. And these people are all awesome, and we're
I
gonna...
don't know about that. I'm
It's
definitely
true.
Not that awesome.
No, Nate's not that awesome. The rest of us are pretty rad.
That's fair.
Do you have a bow on your head?
Which one of us?
What's happening? Cody, look at the
Oh,
camera.
There's a
Okay.
this guy?
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
it's to Titan, but
Okay.
it doesn't stay.
I wish it was a
funny.
bow.
I do
I-
too.
I wish I had a bow.
Thought
I
it
don't
was
have
like a
any bows, I
lacy,
don't-
like 1980s Madonna style bow.
If I had a cat girl
Cody could rock
bow
it.
to put on my head, like lacy with cat ears.
I'm gonna get you one.
Oh, like a
now.
headband.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like a
Let's
headband,
do
but
this
like
shit.
if I can tie it on, that would be cute too. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, I'm just a
Just
cute
gonna
boy.
buy him. clothes so
I'm
he
just a
can,
cute boy.
Dress
Yeah.
up like his
Oh,
VTuber.
Oh, let's do our
Oh.
VTubers for Call of Cthulhu.
I don't have one. Guess I can't.
I
What
don't
have I-
Pick. What you guys? What is Picked even doing?
I've
We're gonna
created,
go
I've created
use that man.
a stream tunnel. Give me a second. I didn't mean to do this.
I like it.
How is...
Yeah, but at the end of the stream tunnel is a commercial.
Yeah, I am not sure how this
It's-
happened.
It's capturing Twitch and not Roll20.
Yeah, but I switched it and then... Okay, there it went. Sweet.
All
So,
Can we
quick...
get Kawaii Desu?
right, calm down.
Sorry, I forgot to grab the free Epic game on Thursday, so I'm grabbing it now.
That's good.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Good timing, right?
Yeah. So we're going to do our quick safety tool check-in for every session using the Entreat the Darkness system published by Grim and Perilous. Are there any updates from anyone on anything that they don't want featured in the game?
Nope, I got nothing funny or stupid this time. Sorry.
I genuinely don't want anything wriggling under my skin.
Okay. What about heart
I
skin?
genuinely do want something wriggling.
If it's like
Lillian's
in him and I don't see it, that's fine. But if it's like tenderly under his skin, I don't want to hear about that.
Okay.
right
No,
now.
I definitely want to.
The
I wanna
concept
watch
of an
Cody squirm.
abscess in a mouth was recently suggested, and it's really sticking with me.
Okay. Yeah, I can
man.
see
What
that.
I'm saying is you don't want to go watch the ruins right now.
Oh god, what's
Oh.
that?
That movie
Scorpion
haunts
King.
me. True.
Puma.
The
Great.
the ruins truly, and I say this to everyone watching, one of very few horror movies. I love horror movies. I will never rewatch that film. Never.
I want to watch
Fuck
it.
with you.
So
Horrible.
good.
Horrible.
Well,
No, but
now
if we're
I'm.
talking
Don't
about
just
gross
punch
things
them
like
alone.
abscess, teratoma, Cody.
Those are cool.
Teratoma.
We just said the rule, and immediately
you
we're breaking the
You
rule.
breached the rule.
I earnestly asked for something.
Yeah. So
You
we
said
will.
wriggling under your skin.
You're gonna
Teratoma is
you're
not
gonna
wriggling
break our
under your
you're gonna
skin.
break our contract.
We will.
That's not wriggling under the skin.
We will
What's the
put
guy's
that
name?
in
Whoever the
our.
guy is. I'm upset with them. Punish Nathan.
We will
No
put
problem.
that in our probably hidden category.
stop.
So it's not
Hidden
necessarily forbidden. We just won't
like
role
fade to
play.
black or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yes, please.
You see the saying, go into Heart's skin, and then we all know what happens.
Well, and luckily, Lillian was sort of occupied when that was happening, so that wasn't really. Cody didn't directly interact with Heart's near transformation.
It's also hidden from God, so.
Well, yeah, now it is.
Yeah.
So that's a good segue
hell
to our recap. A lot of things happened last episode. We established.
Mostly with me.
Yeah, so lots of heart things, a few Nesgrin things. We established a bridge, right? The philosopher consumed the miasma from the Minotaur Lord and
Make it, I
initiated
That was very sad.
the
Yeah.
location ritual to find exactly where, either like metaphysically or where in the world, the corpse, or I guess corpse is not necessarily the perfect term, the
Carmen San Diego.
body of the orc's god, the great tusked one, where it's being held captive by the Skurzak and this giant mushroom that is seemingly growing out of him. And so that happened. While that was happening, Hart was in a battle for his very mortal coil, as his spirit stuck around during the ritual, assisted the philosopher Lillian and Celine in channeling this magic, finding the orc's god, determining a place for the exit for this bridge that they built. And then Nabeen and Nesgrin desperately tried to figure out what to do with Hart's body as he orcified from the miasma within him. And things turned out pretty okay. We had at least a few significant critical successes, as well as one fairly significant critical failure. And so the end-all, be-all of everything that happened is that the philosopher was sadly consumed by the power he was wielding,
I'm a failure.
and his body was incorporated
Carl.
into the portal here. And so he is somehow still around. He's possessed this construct here in Meridian Square that is built of flesh and stone and steel. But he's most certainly not whole. Other interesting things to occur: Nesgrin's brother, who was recently rejoined the half of her soul that was donated upon his birth, was lost in this storm of the winds of magic, pulled through the portal, and now resides somewhere on the other side among the Skurzak in this facility that they have built atop the body of the orc's god. And so we pick up our scene with
Right.
Agent Bruce having fallen from the sky into the middle of Meridian Square, looking around confusedly and remarking, well, this certainly wasn't what I expected. And for those of you who are just joining us or haven't watched the previous episodes, Agent Bruce is the woodsman agent from the nation of Lumerlin who has kind of deputized our Sash Bearers here as members of the woodsman, like, clandestine intelligence agency.
Like magic CIA.
Yeah, magic
We're doing their
CIA.
dirty work.
And so she was sent a message by our Sash Bearers via the magic circle that Dr. Yinzo has in his castle. So he apparently found her, communicated something, and she is here now by her own magical means. And so let's give her a little token real quick. Just a little circle to indicate that she has arrived.
And we found out that she is an inquisitor, right?
She is professionally a witch hunter. At least part of her skill set allows her to initiate the spell See Magic or Detect Magic.
Which site?
Witch Sight. Yeah, sorry. Witch
Yeah,
Sight.
I was gonna say, is it not Witch Sight?
Yeah, at will. And it doesn't
D&D.
doesn't cause her to be blinded or anything. So she can just sort of shift her vision into Witch Sight and perceive the winds. And so yeah, she's here. The philosopher is turned into a portal. Hart is alive. Currently half naked.
I was unalive.
You were unalive. Korna is here. She
One might even call me undead.
Undead.
potentially, yes.
I'm gonna re-dead you.
Korna is here. She helped Hart tried to help Hart resist the orcification that was occurring.
I did resist it.
Yeah, but she critically failed. She rolled a 100 on her test.
And was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so she was overwhelmed by the speed at which you were changing. The huge concentration of the winds of magic supercharging the process by which you were turning into an orc, or your body was being possessed by the miasma. We have our 3 Sash Bearers from the other fort that are here, and then nearly every peasant soldier here as well in the square.
Yeah.
Having
all of them survived.
all of
Might
them
not be
survived.
good, but-
One of them is in
Critical condition somehow.
yeah, one of them is
was
in the
evac'd.
airship. Yeah, one is
Yeah,
the
he was
evac
evac'd.
to the airship with
A little badass.
Jolie.
Dude, that guy was a hero.
Yeah,
He's like, oh god, I'm almost dead. Fuck.
Was it,
Yeah.
was it Conrad? I think it was Conrad.
It was Conrad, yeah. And so yeah, basically we are in the dust settles stage of this massive event. As everybody is looking at this horrific portal and wondering what the next step is.
I forgot someone drew a banana.
Yeah,
Yep.
someone did that.
That was me.
Good job.
So I will change us away from this like spooky music, and we'll just have some regular.
Are there any dogs still around?
Yes. So the dogs and the wolves are kind of milling about around the outskirts of Meridian Square.
Are we going to
Okay.
eat them?
We're not going to eat them, Celine,
Oh, okay.
Why not?
because they are our comrades. They fought with us in the battle. You wouldn't
Why
eat.
here late?
Really hungry.
You wouldn't eat Charlie. I've just pointed at some random guy.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
might.
Okay, you might, but none of us are gonna eat Charlie.
I mean, Heart might too.
Nesgrin might.
Oh,
Right?
you're right.
I might
it's just
now,
skinny.
Chris,
You
you're
should,
right.
You should pick someone with more.
Oh
It's on
shit,
it.
you right.
Well, okay, so
Nesgrin's
you
got
wouldn't
it.
eat Charlie just because Charlie's skinny? Now that's messed up.
Hey man, I've
Sorry,
been working
Charlie.
out.
Look, I'm all for marrow stew.
I mean,
Marrow stew. I mean, that's just soup.
every mammal has marrow. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a person.
It's not even mammals.
Fine. I'll rephrase
Fish-
it.
fish have
Human
marrow, don't they?
stew.
I
Stew.
don't know actually.
I have to imagine that large boned fish have marrow.
Alright,
They
we're
have
looking
blood.
this up.
Well, so like I said,
okay.
mammals because I suspect that birds
Birds
have
have hollow bones.
Well, they have a
so-
different. They would be different. So I don't know.
Most bony fish do not have a functional bone marrow and instead delegate
Get fucked.
hematopoiesis to the spleen, kidney, intestinal, submucosa, and thymus.
So yeah, they generate their blood.
The word is most, so that means
Whatever
some.
you have, I have no idea what you just said.
Me either, honestly.
He pronounced
Says
it wrong.
Celine reading from a large tome.
Yeah, she's got her book. She's like,
Basically,
fish
most of
don't.
Called-
Have bone marrow.
It's
That's
the
what I got
magic-
out of it.
It's the magic tome Google.
Mm-hmm.
Google.
Yep.
I'm going to approach some of the larger wolf crews that I can,
Yeah.
and I'm going to use my old skin trait
Okay.
to communicate with them. And I can basically just speak with them. I don't know if when I do this, if I'm growling to them or if I just speak normally and they talk to me. I don't know. But I'll approach some of these larger ones, and I won't even get down on a knee. I'll just like approach them like an equal and just look down at them. And I'll say, "You were great warriors, and we thank you for your assistance in the battle. It was much appreciated."
And you receive a
Hunter's frozen.
Yeah, my camera's frozen for some reason. I'm sort of troubleshooting it right now. You receive a reply that that they received the call from the Winter King. You know, your resounding howl that went through the city, and that they are happy to assist in whatever task one of his scions might require.
As you can see, this portal
What the hell
is going to lead to the body of a god that needs to be righted, so that we can bring the universe back into its rightful state.
I guess.
In order to do that, we're going to need probably a lot of violent force in order to defeat the Skurzak. Are there two or three of you that feel that you are brave enough to follow me through this portal when the time comes and fight at my side?
Shots fired.
And
I mean, I imagine these dogs are horrified by this magic portal.
Probably.
yeah, and so this is like a mixture of dogs and wolves and like wild canines of different varieties.
Hyenas.
Hyenas are not canines, actually.
They're not canines, but they are similar to dogs.
No, they're not actually. They're
Aren't they considered felines?
no, they're mustelids.
Really?
Yeah.
They're their own
Fuck
thing.
them
But
muscles.
they're more closely related to dogs than to cats.
They're the closest thing they're related to are ferrets or weasels.
It's a
Really?
mystical place.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Holy shit.
Yeah, they're not.
What
They're
about
not.
hyenas?
They're not feline or canine. But anyway,
That's
nuts. two large gray wolves will stride through the crowd here and give you like the little dog bow, and they will claim the mantle of follower of the old skin.
Rad. And I am gonna do what every DM loves. And I'm gonna ask them if they have names.
I am Mr. Barky von Schnauzer.
Damn. You are of a count.
Yep.
You've got Vaughn in your name.
And I
Yes.
will do the classic bullshit DM move and say, our wild names are unpronounceable by your tongue, feel free to give us a 2-foot name.
a
2-foot name. I like that. I like that a
God
lot.
damn it.
You shall be Moon. You shall be Moon.
Wait, aren't you?
Moon?
Isn't one of the cats already Moon?
I don't
Probably.
think so. I think it's Luna and Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Were the
so.
cats.
Yeah.
So I should do something similar. I'll name one Soul and the other one Stalker.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. This is the sound that a wolf makes when it's trying to howl at the sun.
And they kind of like walk to your side, and the soldiers here watch this. They've all kind of stepped out from the buildings over the corpses of the fallen beastmen, and they've kind of gathered in like a semicircle around the portal here. And they watch you communicate with these wolves. And I'm gonna say that when you do so, you speak to them just in like normal language, and they respond like kind of telepathically or whatever. They don't like ruff ruff ruff
They don't
ruff ruff.
verbalize
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Do they just like growl or?
Yeah, like there might be like a subtle sort of body language or tonal changes, but yeah, they don't like open their mouth and rah 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 that you yeah.
Oh, no whiskey tantrum.
They're saying
Yeah.
lasagna. Jerry says, "I love lasagna."
God.
And you can see that literally every single one of these soldiers is kind of regarding you with reverence or like a newfound sense of motivation or purpose. And which one of these guys, I think it was in Blue Squad, did some badass stuff as well. I think
yeah,
I think
for
it was
The
this
one that
hat.
you just moved in.
Yeah, I
the
think it
back.
was
is
this
that
hat
one,
guy.
yeah.
That's why it had the arrow pointing to her that says MVP.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah, yep.
She like annihilated one of the satyrs or something.
Yeah, and so
She rolled like 2 6s and then a 5. It was ridiculous.
What do you need, puppy?
Your mom.
So she strides forward, kind of getting closer to the portal than any other of the soldiers dares. Gives it like a sidelong glance and approaches you. Falls to a knee and says, "My lady Lillian, we've been talking amongst ourselves. Us, this makeshift force from Fort Pertswell, and we request that you honor us with a name. This fighting force that you've inspired and you have assembled, what are we?"
The Kiss Assers!
Whack!
Yeah.
Can I have a second to think about
Absolutely, yeah.
it?
I'm gonna let my dog out real quick. He looks like he's gotta make he's gotta make a poopy.
Wow.
But I
I'm
will
gonna go make a pee.
I will be right back. Because I don't want to clean this up later. But feel free to think about or talk amongst yourselves what you want to do.
Rude. Gonna go pee and do bad things. God.
What do you guys think? You got any cool ideas for naming my religious fanatic army?
I had to come up with my former military group's name.
The
on my
Mantises?
own.
That's so good, though.
I know, but you're on your own because I was on my own.
Oh.
I don't know. What kind of ideas do you have?
Moonwalkers.
The Moonwalkers?
Call them the lichens.
The lichens?
I mean, hold on. Winter King and all, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you just call them the Oath Bearers?
The Oath Bearers?
Yeah.
What was your job title? Your profession?
Pledged guard.
Okay, so you're thinking the Oath Bearers.
Yeah, because they're bearing everything that your oath is on themselves.
That's an interesting idea.
Lichens of winter.
When I wrote this question in my head, I was thinking like the gate guard or
I see.
the like Meridian dudes or something.
Dudes.
Or like the
Meridian dudes.
the
Oh, you
howlers.
have to take your dog out.
Or yeah, I put him out. We have a
I
backyard.
like the Hounds of Meridian has a cool ring to it.
Yeah, something like that. And again, you don't have
Or
to
we could just
finalize
call
it.
them we call them like the Sweater Weather Gang.
Yeah, the chill boys.
The Chill Boys and
Oh
girls.
lord.
Oh lord, a Meridian is such a cool word already,
Right?
which is I'm sure why you.
Yeah,
used
right?
it.
It's so cool.
So cool.
He's just jealous. He doesn't know what Meridian means, so.
What's the city called again?
Pertswell.
Okay. Run another scene. I'll think about.
Yeah,
it
so
while
they're
I've got this guy kneeled in front of me. I'm just like, wait a second.
so they're gathered around and they're kind of they're eyeing the portal, and they've heard it talk, like they saw the whole thing happen. They know that the philosopher is in there. And Agent Bruce kind of pushes her way, not like forcefully or anything, but gently makes her way through the crowd and walks past you guys and just kind of walks right up to the portal and kind of stands in front of it with her hands on her hips looking up at it, and turns to you guys and says, well, I suspect this report is going to be an interesting one.
It's all his fault. My point.
At who?
Wait, at who?
Just generally.
It's all his fault. It moves your entire finger to everything.
Yeah.
Don't misgender me. I will decapitate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. But like
Um,
in real life.
and
So
go ahead.
yeah, can I hear something coming from the other side?
Yeah, so your brother's voice, he, again, like when he had spoken to you at the end of the last session, saying that he has like landed in a body somewhere on the other side of the portal, and he's super confused and disoriented, doesn't know where he is, but you can very specifically tell like that his voice is coming directionally from the portal. So like if you turn around and your back is facing the portal, you hear his voice sort of psychically behind you. And so you get the sense that you're still connected in some way, like when he entered your spirit through the cestus that you recovered, that you guys are bonded, like your soul has rebonded with its two halves, but part of it, you have lost it again, has been torn from you by this magical event and deposited somewhere on the other side. And you can talk to him sort of freely.
Okay, so it didn't recover. It was still split, right? In a way, not completely rejoined, but
Yeah, so like you are again split, but it's feels a little different this time. Like somehow when you gave up half of your soul to save him at his birth, and then as he used that and grew up and had a fulfilling life of his own, it's almost like the half of his soul and the half of your soul that you guys had split when you were super young kind of like regrew or regenerated or whatever to fill your full life that you've been living. And so when you recombined, the reason that he was still himself and still conscious and seemingly aware is that it was like a full second soul had entered you. And now, because of that connection, you are bonded psychically or magically or whatever. And he is somewhere out there on the other side of the portal.
Okay, so it's big or it's like mentally?
You could do it mentally, because when you guys were communicating as he was like your passenger, it was all mental. Like you would put him in the cage or whatever to shut him up. And so yeah, you can back and forth communicate with your brother.
Okay. So I go like, Ardron, where are you? What can you see?
It's I think it's dark. I can't, and you hear like sort of like almost like grunting. I can't move. Oh God. Nesgrin. Something is very wrong.
Anything? What can you smell?
I can smell so much. I can smell scents of rats, Skurzak. I can smell machine oil, and there's so much information. I'm in a building. My hands are shackled. I'm against a wall. You've got to come get me. I think Nesgrin, this isn't a human body.
How would you know? You're never a human. You're a dwarf.
This isn't
Yet.
humanoid.
It's a humanoid. Do you have hair or?
I have paws and claws, and I think I have a tail.
Yeah, he's a rat man.
It's a
Or
rat
he's
man.
just a normal rat.
Maybe that's true. You could
Is
Is he
just a normal
tiny?
rat.
Yeah. Are you? You feel like big or tiny?
I'm big.
How big?
It's like man-sized, Nesgrin. You've got to come and get me.
Why are you asking this? Help me!
Okay. Stay put. Try not to do anything.
I can't move, Nesgrin.
That will be
Wiggle
pretty
your
useful
tail.
then.
Oh my goodness.
I think I have come up with a name.
Okay.
I will pull out my axe like I'm going to knight him,
Yeah.
and I declare you all the Hoarfrost dedication.
Okay. And I will write that down, because I will immediately forget it.
No, Nate. Different kind of whore.
No, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking Monster Hunter.
Mhm.
Wait, is there? Oh, you're thinking of the word hoarfrost, right?
Yeah, I think they have it in like Monster Hunter as a name for a
Yeah,
place,
It's
but it
in
is an
It's
actual
not
thing.
it's not a name in Monster Hunter. It's the improved Legiana.
Hoarfrost Reach is a location
Oh, it is
in
the
Monster
Hoarfrost
Hunter
Reach?
world.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
that's why I
isn't there a Hoarfrost Legiana or something similar?
I don't think so.
What's the special Legiana called?
I think it's called special.
He doesn't think so.
Well,
and I
Hoarfrost-
don't care.
Hoarfrost is a word.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah, and so
I know.
a cheer rises up. The soldiers, Hoarfrost dedication.
Shrieking Legiana.
Shrieking.
Yeah, so not Hoarfrost.
Anyways, continuing. Sorry.
And this person who I actually don't think we didn't name this guy.
You can be nerd.
Nerd.
His name is not nerd.
It is now.
Well, again, sort of bow and fall back among the dedication here. And Agent Bruce will kind of motion to Nabeen and Nesgrin and for the other three, and she'll say, I think we should have a chat.
Why?
Well, I would really, really like to know sort of what happened here.
But why?
I figured I set you on some kind of at least vaguely complicated mission.
Send us to the doctor.
Yeah, and so when he reached out to me via magical whisper, I assumed
I
that
learned that trick.
that the situation had evolved outside of the original scope of what I expected. And so I pulled a few strings and initiated my own magical travel at great expense, I should add. Only to be nearly disintegrated in a swirling maelstrom of magic that you had created, and landing not at Pertswell Castle as I had intended, but being pulled into this whirlpool and dropped unceremoniously into, and she kind of gestures around, wherever the hell this is.
What's it like to be almost disintegrated?
she like leans down and gets close to you and says, to be honest, it was pretty cool. But I have a mission to accomplish, and we have...
You two are a menace together. I call from the other side of the square.
You're just mad because you don't have witch sight. She's a little.
And she says,
Alright.
we have followed the trail of footprints. Or I should say, you all have followed in my stead the trail of footprints that we have been tracking ever since the star fell. And it seems, she looks over her shoulder at the, like, magically, not like howling, but there's a very, like, subtle noise to it as reality's being, like, ripped and bent in this portal. You seem to have found something of great importance.
Well, it's not
Found
so
is
much
maybe
we
not the-
found it. It's
Yeah.
more like created. That thing, that's the philosopher now. He can still
Well,
kind of
she
talk.
didn't-
It's weird.
I don't think she knew who the philosopher was.
She did not. She
Oh.
sent you guys to
Yeah.
find the doctor. And the doctor
So we-
said, hey, here's what's going on. We need to go talk to the
Been a
philosopher.
That gate used to be in Orcs.
A big
And
one.
still is? I think he's still around.
And from
Saying
from
so.
the gate, a sort of hollow sounding voice emanates. I remain conscious.
See? Huh.
I
Well,
am.
then maybe there's hope we can bring you back into
Do you
something.
feel anything physically and or mentally and emotionally?
I feel weightless. I
That is, I'm sure, dramatically different. For you.
I am stretched across these points in space, and it is uncomfortable.
Look, I'm
I
stretched and
bet.
you don't see me complaining.
Well, how are you stretched?
Um,
I'm gonna wait. I want an answer.
I
It's my vagina.
I get
very
probably
just
where
very
you were going for it,
It's my vagina.
but how?
and you're asking the philosopher how he is stretched?
No.
Oh.
How is she stretched? We just got done with 9 hours of battle. Where did you find time to get that done?
I'm not saying I got it done recently.
Oh, okay. Well, then you might need some more, like, I don't know, water in your diet or something.
You need some more vitamin D in your life.
Sorry, I don't prescribe to that particular medication.
No, you're missing out.
I just imagine Hart looking down at his pants.
Yep. Sort of.
Vitamin D.
Cause I wanna
I know about that, I suppose.
I do want to like reestablish. Does Lillian know that Hart and Celine had a tryst?
You told me that I
yes,
did.
Yes.
You said
yes.
I knew.
Oh
everything.
yeah. So you
I shared-
transferred all of that
I shared my
information.
consciousness
Yeah.
when I was in spirit
Yeah.
form.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah.
As when you were serving as the anchor.
He also transferred images.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was images.
Distinct,
You're
explicit.
welcome, Lillian.
I am more
Yeah.
more of a lesbian than I even was before.
You have
You're not my
pushed me
child, though.
further
I-
along
I-
the scale.
I don't want to overstep your role as a GM, but I think Lillian should roll a result test. just in case.
Yeah, I actually I
Comments
agree.
alone.
Yeah,
now.
as you recall, yeah, when Celine leans over,
30 corruption points.
corruption points. Yeah, when Celine
30.
leans over, and yeah, so that's a crit success. But I like the idea when Celine's like, "It's my vagina," yeah, and
Shiver
Lillian.
down my spine.
Lillian's like, "Oh no, I remember."
Oh, I don't like that.
Yep. But yeah, you succeed with flying colors.
Terrible.
Damn, that means Liliana's seen me naked.
Terrible.
I've probably seen you mostly naked before.
Probably.
We were in the military together,
Probably.
Yeah.
and I don't imagine cleanings were like very private.
Well, yeah. And
Not that you very frequently went and cleaned yourself.
well, I
but-
think I remember specifically in one of the first episodes, Celine was like, "I start changing without putting any barrier
Yeah,
or any you like I
Pretty
just
much, she did.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that
She just doesn't care.
yeah, that very explicit like event occurred, and so we have a
We also had the like girls' night of me prepping you for your date with the captain,
yeah.
where we were like trying to get you into decent clothes and
Oh,
pull the
yeah.
rats out of your hair.
You
Yeah.
wanted to brush my hair, and I'm like, stop it! I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Every knot has its place.
Yeah.
Not has its place. Yeah, right where they are right now. That's where they belong. Oh, sweet.
So yeah, the Agent Bruce will kind of listen in and watch as you guys banter a little bit and look at the portal, and she will ask the portal, "Where do you lead?" And the philosopher will
Through and find
answer.
He doesn't know.
And he'll simply say, I lead to the body of my fallen god, the Great Tusked One. We found him in a mountain range somewhere, and he is under the control of the Skurzak.
Is that
I
what you were
tried to-
expecting for Laria?
And she kind of leans back and puts her chin in her hand, and she's like, "The shadows.
Look, I just want to point out that it's in some cave on the mountain. I tried to get it in his butthole because nobody would expect the other end of the portal to come out there.
You think rats aren't in his butthole?
They weren't.
I
There,
feel
they're
Yeah.
like Jenny.
There
Yeah.
weren't
I
when you
checked
were
it
there.
out.
Yeah.
You've got to take lunch breaks there.
It's
There's no
like
way
a
they
cafeteria.
Dude, food comes out of there. They probably got a strong sense of smell. It's probably a bad time.
They're rats.
You act like they live in filth. That's racist.
Rats do literally live in filth.
Racist.
Name one
Rats,
animal
not
more
Skaven.
inclined
Or
to
not
filth,
Skurzak. I didn't say that. I
except
said
maybe dung beetles.
Look, that's rats, not Skurzak. There's a difference. You're being racist. You're being ignorant, Lillian.
You're being ignorant.
Bruce, you've worked with Skurzak before, I'm sure. Are they rats?
They are as much rats as they are men. They do tend to build societies that as are less filth inclined than regular rats, but it's still, I
More
say,
filth inclined than me.
that is an accurate
And?
statement.
Don't mean shit. I'm
I mean,
more
to be
filth
fair,
inclined
I
than
was
you.
just going to say, I'm not necessarily convinced you aren't a Skurzak.
I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the people are have more filth inclined than you.
No,
Yes. You
Charlie's
nitpicky
pretty
broad.
well taken care of. Charlie, you don't look like you've ever had
Charlie
bed bugs.
probably pissed himself in the fight.
Well, that's not his fault.
It is.
He raised his hand. I did not. I promise.
Charlie, you're not bad luck.
All right, I have to roll an insight or scrutinize check.
Well done, Charlie. That's great.
He
pisses
he
off.
did
Why
not
the charges
actually.
all just
Oh.
pissed themselves in their first battles.
I was inspired by everyone today, and now I'll try to line them up a little bit, like back into their ranks or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
Squad
I'll
'em up.
leave Celine to Agent Bruce, as much as that may be a horrible idea. And
Dude, we get along great. I get to like stare her down and be super suspicious of her, and she does the same with me.
and I'll basically just go to the point of giving, like, I guess, like, both congratulations as well as like pointing out what they did well and like where they've like got room for improvement already, just like, pointing out, like, while it's fresh in their minds, while they still have, still remembering and going through it all,
They still have their minds.
going sort of drill instructor a little bit. Not necessarily like doing more training,
Oh, my
but just like
beautiful
a
drawing.
Nab is just
recap.
watching you with her arms crossed, smirking.
Yo.
I'm sure you've done better.
Absolutely.
Do you want me to notice you doing that?
No. Doesn't
Okay.
Who drew the thumbprint?
The
What?
portal.
Print?
That's the portal.
Portal. That looks like a thumbprint. I know it's
Oh,
the
I
portal,
drew
but
that.
it looks like a
Yeah, it's got like a
thumbprint.
whirl to it.
Yeah.
I will be right
Yeah,
back. I'm gonna let my dog in. But yeah, continue.
If I do notice you smirking, I will absolutely ask you to come over, and if you have better pointers, especially for the marksman, I would be happy for them to hear what you have to say.
I don't have anything. I'm just watching and being critical. Because that's what I do. I was an officer, man.
I was not. I was certainly not an
Wow.
officer. I was a priest, believe it or not.
You
No,
don't
really?
say.
Yeah. You never really, you didn't know me much before the person I am now. I mean, some of you kind of did, but
You got around a lot.
a year ago, I was
I mean, a lot.
basically a farmer.
See?
It's all very, very interesting. That we have a big portal there. We
No,
should,
you're
like,
right. But
I'm with
I mean,
Nesgrim. Your story was boring.
it wasn't intended to be really a story so much as
Yeah, it was bad. That's why it was boring.
Next time I have
Alright,
trouble
well.
sleeping, I'll tell you to tell me the story.
Hell
you
yeah.
got it. You got
I
it.
like Nesgrim.
Hunter, move Ranza over there as well.
Ransla.
Thank you.
Do you want her among the ranks, or do you want
No,
her...
with us.
Okay, yeah.
No, she doesn't need lessons from me.
You've got Borwin and Halal and Halora here, as well.
I'm gonna promote Bridget.
Yeah. We'll give her a badge of honor. Wrong button. Yeah, so she's got her skull and crossbones now.
Oh no.
As a
Hell yeah.
as a
Oh, no?
slayer of the Hoarfrost dedication.
Hell yeah. That's like a really cool title as well. I need to come up with ranks and titles for that's so fucking cool.
And yeah, again, just miraculous that nobody died
No, truly,
This-
truly miraculous.
this whole day of the three conflicts with the lieutenants, and then the final showdown with the Minotaur Lord and his
Minotaur.
retinue. Nobody of any consequence died at all, which is
No
very
cook
cool.
mama almost died,
I don't
but
think
fucking
anyone-
spent 2 fortune points and saved her.
You say no one of any consequence died. No one on our side died at all,
I mean,
right?
technically, Hart did.
Yes.
He's right.
Okay, you're
I
right.
did get a
No one
space
of
smushed in.
consequence. You were right.
Yeah, no one of consequence died. That was my
Get
intention.
Fucked.
Get fucked.
He did.
Yep.
They didn't like my story, Hunter.
What was your story?
He
I
was
said
a
I used
farmer.
to be a farmer, and they were
Yeah,
like,
it was
Oh.
pretty boring.
they were like, that's
That
a
was like the
shitty
whole
story.
story.
Yeah.
Tell
And
me,
then I
but
was
like a
like-
year ago, I used to be a farmer.
Yep.
And I was like,
That's
well,
it.
it wasn't really a story so much as me just telling you a thing, and they were like, yeah, but it was a bad
Yeah,
story.
that was boring.
Yeah.
That's if I'm like, hey, can
because
you
we're
bring
used to
me?
you always doing like inspiring words or
pages?
whatever, and
Yeah.
like
No, I'm just
Yeah.
explaining. It's like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
you
when I'm saying,
suck.
hey, can you bring me my sword? And they're like, dude, that was a really bad story.
Should
No,
work
it'd
on
be more
that.
like I used to swing a sword. Boring story. You swing an axe? No, what's the difference?
Yeah, so Bruce like watches you do this dedication for this Hoarfrost dedication like regiment, I guess. I need to look at like
Yeah.
what the actual sizes of those things are. Chris might know. A regiment is a group of squads, right? Or is there a platoon?
it's different for the Navy.
It's different for the
versus
Navy. Okay.
branches. So
Um
Yeah, they're called a swimming.
Regiment is a permanent unit of an army, typically commanded by a colonel and divided into several companies, squadrons, or batteries, and often into 2
Company.
battalions.
Company is a good designation. So the Hoarfrost dedication company of soldiers here. And I will let you know that mechanically, and this may not have a ton of like future value, but they are getting better. They are
This would
sort
be
of
a platoon.
yeah, they're like leveling up, increasing their fighting skills in your stead.
Okay.
And so yeah,
This could be a company, Nate. A company can be as small as a few dozen.
Can it? Okay, because the
Yeah.
website I'm looking at says it's Britannica, and it says 20 to 50 troops for platoon, and a company's like, oh, I guess it's not perfect because company says 100 to 250, so it skips 50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very diverse, and the numbers we use for like modern and
The old stuff,
old would be very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because squad wasn't really an old thing. Like, they didn't really do, like, the 5-man sort of thing.
It's like a more of a newer.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if there would be a word, and like I guess order comes to mind.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's maybe more of a religious thing
Designation.
than a strictly military thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, like, almost like a Knights Templar kind of thing.
Exactly.
The Order of the Hoarfrost dedication.
Ooh, that sounds really fucking cool.
Yeah. So yeah,
these
you've managed to convert these followers, sort of directly as fighters in the name of the Winter King, but also like they kind of have this like skewed view of Sash bearers, where you know like
we're more important than we are.
Yeah, like you guys are a bunch of badasses here to like organize and get shit done. Versus when you're home, everybody's like, "Oh, that's the scum that we have to deal with," kind of thing.
What is the pug guy's name? I should just start calling him Pug.
You don't know his name yet. But yeah, the
cool.
the
Pugsley now.
The pug-looking gate guard who always harassed you guys.
Oh
I need to see that whenever I go back. Hey, Pugsley, how's it going?
Yeah.
Don't call me that. Shut up, Pugsley.
Yeah.
Decapitated
So he
immediately.
would be astounded to see you now, sort of leading this fighting force, having slain a mythical beast of the stories.
That was mostly
I
hard.
think Cody
Like,
just
won't
had
see
an
me do
epiphany.
damage.
Can I do something really fucking cool right now, Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I would never say no to that.
Can I do the ritual of Blessed Sacrament, where I can dedicate a threshold, cornerstone of a building, or a forehead of a person? Can I dedicate this portal so that no abyssal creatures can come through it?
Absolutely.
Hell yes.
And so yeah,
I am absolutely gonna do that.
You invite your Hoarfrost order here to join you in this dedication ceremony to secure this arguably somewhat blasphemous, somewhat chaotic horror construct. To bless it in the name of the Winter King, ward it against any abyssal intrusion, that kind of thing. And they wholeheartedly agree to assist.
Cool.
And so the rest of the hero bros kind of move off to the side here, with Bruce joining and watching, kind of trying to make like idle chit chat with some of you guys about what exactly is going on.
She's gonna do the thing. She's gonna mark the forehead and be like, Simba.
It would take this. I mean, this process takes like an hour.
Oh god.
I absolutely could do it for every person, but that would take forever. And something that I probably will do, but not right now.
Yeah, and so I think what Cody
Not that
intended.
we are in a hurry.
Yeah, so it's like what Cody wanted to do was dedicate the portal, so the structure.
Oh, I know. I'm still saying he's just going up
messing
to
with Cody.
Simba.
Yeah.
As he marks it.
So yeah, Bruce kind of leans over to Celine and is like, "So who are all these people?"
Well, these are a ragtag bunch of fucking
Losers.
fighters, which is just a gaggle of fucking civilian idiots who, God knows how none of them died. One of them got real fucked up, but yeah, they've been helping us deal with like the Beastman, and we went all over the city. I found a best way to use the fucking magic missile. Did you know if you use a like spyglass, you can snipe with magic missile?
Interesting. So as long
It's
as
amazing.
you can clearly see your target.
Yes.
Are there any like
It's amazing.
potential drawbacks?
I mean, they have time to react to it and counterspell it, but other than that,
Don't you also have pieces of your spyglass in your face right now?
I have
So
no idea.
when the magic missile rebounded, it didn't go through the spyglass, which would have been very
Oh,
cool.
okay.
But it did when
I didn't
you
know if it was that scene from Saving Private Ryan.
yeah, where it just like slams through.
Right.
And she turns to Hart and says, Hart, why are you naked?
He died.
Well, you see, I'm just recently,
Back from
realized.
being dead.
Yeah, he got rehymenated.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I don't
Just
like
recently
that.
realived.
Oh my goodness, I like that. Recently realived.
And it wasn't even me this time.
And she kind of like squints her eyes, and you see her irises flash silver as she falls into the witch site.
You know the storm that brought you almost to your doom?
And she says, "Yeah,
I was part of that.
you
It was
were
pretty crazy.
part of that."
Like my spirit,
He
while
was
my
hard
body
with
was
it.
over here on the ground with its chest wide open.
And she like nods her head, and she's like, "I suppose I buy that. I've heard weirder things." And she
Crazy, yo.
turns to Nesgrin. Those are some fancy gauntlets you got there. Have you guys been doing some looting?
Oh, these are mine. These are for my family.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I know they are yours.
You know that we have lives before you shove us in a prison and then force us to conscript, right?
I personally,
You know that, right?
I do feel bad, and I want to reiterate that I do feel bad that you all Sash bearers are sort of suffering the consequences of the actions of our home nation.
But you're not doing anything about it.
But of course, my hands are tied. I am a member of this organization.
That's just, what's the fucking term for it?
Boilerplate?
No, it's like kind of like an accomplice thing, or something, negligence or something.
Oh,
It's like an ethical thing,
yeah. Basically, the standby effect or whatever.
something like that. So,
And she kind of addresses the rest of you, Nabeen and Ransla. I'm sure you guys are like maybe holding hands or at least talking amongst yourselves about how cool the rope trick was or that sort of thing. And then Halora and Halal and Borwin are here as well. And they actually, I don't think they ever actually met Agent Bruce, if I
Nope.
remember correctly. Because they were...
I don't think
what we
Nesgrin
were
did
like-
either. Did Nesgrin?
Oh, I don't recall.
Oh,
I don't
think so.
I don't think Nesgrin met Bruce. It literally may have been that he was like that Nacho just wasn't here for that episode.
Yeah.
Because you guys picked up Nesgrin at the
With
the
three-armed
manor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you guys went back. So Nesgrin would have canonically met Bruce.
Yeah.
But I
But
think
I think
Nacho
Nacho
was
wasn't.
not present for that. And so Nesgrin
think
was
so.
part of the meetings and everything as Bruce was proposing this plan to fly to Pertswell. But yeah, so this is Agent Bruce. She's really cool. And
she has witch sight on command.
yeah, so she's a dark-skinned, bald elf female who only has her left ear. The right ear is sort of a where it was is like a lump of scar tissue. She's got a sort of bright white tattoo on her face of the upside down hammer of the God King, which is a bit confusing for an elf to have. And she is an agent of this organization called the Woodsmen, which are essentially the CIA of the nation you are from. They do all kinds of clandestine things, kill people, are very scary, that kind of stuff.
But they're all bad people.
They are as good as cops can be, and I will leave it as that.
Yeah.
and so Lillian begins this dedication ceremony. The philosopher, his voice from the portal, asks, what is it that you intend to do?
It's the portal.
He means Lillian, doesn't he?
Yes.
Wait, sorry, who was addressing me?
The philosopher. The portal speaks to you and says, what is your intention here?
With
the
what I'm
dedication
doing right now?
Yeah, the ritual.
To prevent evil forces from traveling through whilst we may be already on the other side, or if we need to catch our breath here for a moment.
All right. Then let's do it.
Cool.
And what does the ritual entail? Is there like a specific reagent or anything, or is it just the time and the roll?
It takes an hour. It does have a roll that should, in theory, be very easy.
Okay.
I
will say
roll.
The philosopher will assist you, so he is.
Oh, cool.
He is providing what he can as the possessor of this object.
Cool. So I just make this is just considered petty magic, and I've already spent time making the holy water. I have 3 uses of holy water right now.
Okay.
So I just need to make that check with my character sheet. Do I have that open? No, I don't, because I'm a god.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna use another one of my petty magics, I think.
Like how you just dragged half of you stole the banana's soul.
I
and dragged it
didn't.
away.
I just wanted to move you guys, and I didn't mean to take the banana's shading.
You ruined everything.
I did. I really just messed
We
this all
killed
up.
Freddy.
What is that difficulty that showed up there?
You probably have the little bubble selected on your character
It's
sheet.
set to standard, which is weird. Because I can just hit this. We'll see if this does the same thing. I would have succeeded either way, but I am curious now.
Rating
It's weird that
20, willpower 54, modifier 10.
Oh, I wonder, is it? No, that would make it worse.
Yeah, I don't know what that difficulty is because it's not actually changing.
It's not
anything.
adding in, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
just like
Yeah, weird.
that is weird.
Okay, well,
The
yeah.
difficulty should be the difficulty rating charge part. You have to set it to 0.
Yeah, so he has the bubble on his character sheet selected as 0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just said 20 and it didn't affect the number.
Yeah.
It's just weird. But yeah, if you want to look it up, it's Blessed Sacrament. I can copy and paste the relevant text. Because it is in the compendium or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is going to last for perhaps longer than the gateway is here. Because it's going to last my willpower bonus in weeks.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
it's
could
pretty
have that
rad.
up for 11 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, mine would be 6 weeks.
Week.
Wake up, Nate!
I am
Do some
awake.
jumping jacks.
I should move to my ball chair though, for sure.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
get
so
your
yeah,
balls chair.
this
That'd actually be very funny to see on stream too.
this is
I've used it before.
the threshold of this door. You and your dedication enact this ritual that protects it or wards it from abyssal intrusion. And they pray along with you, kind of forming this hemisphere, daring to get closer than they have before.
Dare me.
I double dog dare you. Touch the portal.
Touch it. And so where Lillian is here. So you bless the portal with your holy water, and you see, like, starting from one side where it touches the ground, a like rippling frost sort of encircles this like twisted mass of metal and steel, flesh and steel, and it frosts over, and the frost fades slowly in the ambient heat of this late afternoon, and the philosopher says, "It is done. We
Hell yeah.
should be safe for now." I love that. And so
I can't take credit for that. That's from another thing, but I do love it as well.
The Agent Bruce will kind of gesture for those of you not involved in this religious dedication to go into one of these, like, kind of crushed or abandoned buildings, and she, like, pulls up a chair and at a bar or something and invites you all to sit, and basically asks for, over the course of this hour that this religious ceremony is going on outside, what has happened since you took the airship north? And if my assumption is that you guys tell her basically all of it, unless there are specific things you would like to leave out or specific things you would like to emphasize. If there's any, like, modification that you would like to do, now is the time to basically be like, embellish or omission or that sort of thing.
I will take a nap.
You're just gonna
nap.
like sleep on the table. I like that. Yeah.
We could just not tell her about the large amount of miasma that I ingested.
Sure.
Yeah, Celine will probably leave out that part, but other than that, Celine's gonna tell her most of the stuff and brag, and I sniped a lot. It was sick.
I will 100% also brag, and you guys
Unfortunately,
said that
you are not there.
Oh fuck!
You
right, I'm doing
Yeah.
other
your
stuff.
fucking thing, Cody?
Fuck! Did I what?
Did you fail?
No.
No.
We were trying to
Okay.
figure out something. There's a weird
Okay.
modifier that's popping up
Man.
on the sheet that we couldn't figure out.
I just put points in it so that I could specifically build my legend, and I'm not there.
Yep.
I've been pranked.
Yeah,
Sucks
and
to
you will have a chance to give her, like, your part of it. But yeah, she like sees you preparing with your followers, and she's like, okay, well, we're gonna not just stand around. We're gonna sit, and she, like, checks the casks in the bar to see if there's any beer, and of course it's all been taken already.
Oh man, I'll be sure to tell her about my experience when I was floating around and the magicalness, and fucking, like, learned I could talk to people. I talked to the captain for a short moment, and I was like, oh man, he heard me, and
fucking flew down and found caves underneath everything. There's a secret tunnel underneath this place somewhere
Secret
that
tunnel
connects to the tower or
through
something.
the
I
mountain.
found it.
And she looks at Celine and is like, so you went to the captain to presumably report what was going on, right?
I mean, I decided to try an experiment and see if I could speak to him, and I said hi, and apparently he heard me.
Yeah,
And
but
then
I guess my original question is, why did you go to him?
Because it's the captain, and I like talking to him, and I was just wondering what I could do when testing my limits. I tried to go to the heart of where the star
She's
fell.
been trying to get in his pants for as long as I've
there it
known.
is.
Yeah,
It is,
she's
too. But
There
that
it
wasn't
is.
on my mind for that time, but I was just
She sure it
definitely
wasn't.
testing the limits. Because a ghost fuck doesn't sound any fun unless I'm fucking a ghost. That would be interesting.
Agent Bruce is like, well, actually, now's not the time, but
You'll have to tell me another time. Because now you have my interest with the well, actually. But yeah, so.
Yeah, and so basically my assumption is that you feed her the whole arc from fighting the bat orcs and losing the book and finding the hand orcs and recovering it.
We try and twist it to where, you know, someone like grabbed her book and hucked it or something, you know.
And she'll be like, someone on the airship threw your book overboard?
Demon babies.
Oh,
Flying demon babies.
yeah, the fodderlings, right?
Yeah, the froglers.
Yeah. Those creatures that only have legs, right?
Yeah, it's got mouth and teeth to grab and shake things. You should have saw what they did to Bar when they shook him like a fucking chew toy.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen
Amazing they
fodderlings.
didn't throw him
I've seen
overboard.
fodderlings work before. Yeah, so the recovery, fighting the hands orc, landing at
Yeah, he kicked me in the face.
landing at Pertswell, meeting the doctor, the finding the philosopher, getting his plan.
By the way, we gave away a lot of the supplies on the ship as an excuse for why we landed. Don't ask me, it was Nesgrin's idea.
She narrows her eyes. She's like, "What do you mean, gave away?"
Well, you see, they wanted to know why we were here, so Nesgrin came up with a line. It's like, we're here to drop off supplies from this place from far away from a special benefactor. So we unloaded most of the airship. It was a wild. I gotta hide in a box for like, I don't know how long I was.
It was a while.
30
It
minutes
was
or
like,
an hour.
yeah, it was like an hour.
It was great, and I got to sneak around, and that's when I found the magical circle and the twine, and I was like, wee. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
So, okay.
This has been like the best mission ever. I'm just saying.
So,
You talk to a god.
the doctor's a good guy.
That's true.
I didn't get to see if he had 2 dicks though.
At least more or less.
The orcs are all gone.
Well, yes and no, because Corna's around here somewhere, but she's my friend.
Yeah, actually, I kind of forgot. Corna is like kind of chilling, just kind of. I guess she probably wandered back to her tower or something like
She
that,
has mushrooms for eyes.
or is maybe just kind of standing in the outskirts of Viridian Square awkwardly, and yeah, yeah, she'll like
She's my friend.
she'll wander over and like peek her head in and regard all of you, be like, well,
She's
I was-
super smart, smarter than Lillian.
I was concerned.
Oh,
I love the
And
I love
I
the
guess.
specificity.
I'm a little invested right now.
Yeah. She said, I'm always cautious when a new person comes around. There are people out there who would just try and decapitate me upon sight.
I would shank her for you, Corna, and I kind of like this one.
And Bruce kind of looks between all of you and is like, well,
I'll give her a look I'll do it, trust
yeah,
me.
and she's like, I mean, ever since the star fell, I've got to say, I cannot begin to predict what's going to happen next. So if
she came in on a flying keep.
If you, Miss Corna, would love to join us and hear this tale, you are welcome to.
Been wild.
Yeah, and so then
we'll have fun.
Yeah, you'll end up with this day that we've been playing for the last few sessions of drawing in the Beastmen hordes, killing the lieutenants, setting up the ambush for the Minotaur Lord, and the enaction of the ritual. And she nods her head, takes it all in, and she looks at all of you and looks out as Lillian is just beginning to finish this dedication ritual. And she says, all right, well, I suppose it's time to kill a god then.
Kill a god? I thought we were supposed to save it.
We are supposed to save it.
She furrows her brow. Save? What do you mean save it?
I don't know. Lillian said something about saving it or something, didn't she? Somebody back me up. Does anyone remember what Lillian said? It just kind of comes in one ear and goes out the other.
Amazing.
Nobody remembers what Lillian
said. Yeah.
They never do.
Pretty sure she said something about how we're supposed to save it. I don't know all the details, but Lillian's a weird one and a religious type.
I am a religious type. This is technically accurate.
I'm technically kind of a religious type too, just not your kind of religion.
a little bit different.
Yeah.
Well, and Bruce continues well, if what you say is true, you saw the captured manifestation of the orc's god, the Great Tusked One.
Yeah, the Skurzak have a giant mushroom on him and they're harvesting him or something. I don't fucking know. Something about the other gods said I don't know, that it's important that he gets back in the pantheon or bad things might happen. Beats me. I don't talk with the gods. They don't talk to me. They ain't done shit for me.
Kill the gods anyway.
I don't know. To say we killed a fucking god. That's why I'd kill a god.
Well, I mean, I don't think I have to tell you guys specifically that the orcs are a scourge on civilized peoples. This is,
realize we have an orcs here amongst us right now.
Well,
and that she's been working along with us.
Yeah, obviously.
That the philosopher came here and saved us, and he was an orcs.
Yeah.
You're daft.
But
they are a bit different, though. To be fair.
Yeah, it's like Celine just said. These are clearly outliers. I mean, we can't begin to understand the process by which the Skurzak are modifying these creatures with Witchstone. Witchstone.
Skurzak modifying them with the Witchstone. I don't think it was a Skurzak. They kept saying shadows.
That is, you know that.
Yeah, you were told explicitly that the Skurzak are somehow manipulating some kind of shadow magic to abduct, modify, and direct these orcs in strange ways. And so
you just said it yourself. The Skurzak are the ones that are corrupting them. What does killing a god mean, that we're gonna stop them? That doesn't make any sense. The god's body would still be there. They'd still be able to harvest whatever it is that they're doing.
Well, if we take this bridge and disrupt the operations of the Skurzak, eliminate the Great Tusked One, we can in my opinion, it's two birds with one stone. You
Well,
remove.
think about it from an.
Go on,
I'll let her
Celine.
finish. Okay. Think about it like this way. We talked about because you're all about the order of things, aren't you?
Well,
We
my
had some conversation about this a long time ago. Didn't
my
we,
life's
natural
work
order?
is maintaining the stability of, at the very least, the civilization of Lumerlin and its people. But I do like to think that I try and consider all sentient people as a whole when I make my decisions.
So obviously this is going to be a little bit, but we're going to talk in metaphors, Let's think of this like the natural order of things. What if we take out say some big predator out in the wild that's eats a bunch of bunnies? What happens? The bunnies start to overrun things. The next thing you know, they run out of food and they all die horrible slow deaths. And it fucks with everything. You're messing with the natural balance by wiping out all of this predator. And this is on a whole different level, because we're talking divine level. There's a balance to everything. What happens when you fuck the balance that hard that you kill a god? I can't even imagine what's going on with the Skurzak fucking harvesting this thing, but there's a balance to these things, even with magic and whatnot. Just some things require sacrifice to do. How did you get here? It took a lot of stuff, you said, right?
Well, yeah,
Balance,
certainly
order.
I expended a great deal of resources and energy to enact the magic that brought me here.
We don't just do things out of midair. They require certain sacrifices many a times.
So, in this, if we extend your metaphor a little bit, humans and elves and dwarves and gnomes and halflings, humanoid sentient beings capable of love and building and future thought. We are the rabbits, right? In this analogy.
I don't fucking know. I'm just saying, if we take out a god, if we're messing with the natural order of things, this is a whole nother thing. I'm just saying, messing with the natural order, we don't know what kind of consequences. What if a new god comes in and it's worse? I mean, there's the fact a good god coming in, it's better. But what if that good god only cares about his people and wants us wiped out anyways? Because
So,
plague on the planet.
in the intelligence business, there are what we call known unknowns, things that we know we don't know, right? And then there are unknown unknowns, things that we don't know that we don't know. And then, of course, there are the things that we know, the information that we have. I know that orcs have killed innocent people, hindered the progress of thinking beings for as long as history has been recorded. I don't know if there are other gods out there in the pantheon waiting to, fill a spot or anything like that. I am simply proposing that, given this opportunity, the rabbits could kill a wolf and benefit from that, as it were.
We assume. We don't know what happens when we kill the orc's god, technically.
I suspect, from what you've told me, that severing the connection would effectively destroy the race.
Supposedly. I mean, because did the philosopher tell us that or something?
Well,
No.
in the retelling of your story, you talked about how the miasma brings them closer, right? They achieve this sort of violence nirvana and commune with the orcs
been a
god.
lot of stuff going on, so I can't remember everything.
Yeah, so basically... Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if we still had any way to communicate with the doctor.
Oh, yeah, he's just in the castle.
Okay. I would like him to bring his orc's friend to speak to Agent Bruce.
Okay. Yeah, so you could tell Bruce, like,
That's
hey,
a good idea.
like we've got Zugan here. Like, he's at the castle with the doctor. If you like you should meet this guy, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she'll agree. And basically say, okay, like, is this some orcs just like from the wilderness? Like, what is he different
He's
somehow?
one of the doctor's experiments.
Okay. And experiments in what way?
I think that's best if you hear it from the doctor and Zugan himself.
Well, certainly.
Basically civilizing him.
And at that point, Lillian's ritual completes. The cold air descends upon the portal, and it's blessing the assembled multicolored soldiers here leave their
In real life,
they're
multicolored.
they're like
they're
red
like
and
literally-
yellow
they're
and
like
blue.
Palomino horses
Oh,
or
Yep.
something.
They leave their reverie of prayer and look to Lillian as for the next step. And you see and can hear your folks talking to Agent Bruce over here.
Hunter, I just want you to know that right now you're like, one of the things you have set up isn't the dice roller, it's the Twitch chat, which has been like dead silent except for Nightbot saying something to you.
Oh yeah, I did do that.
You have it set to stream the Twitch chat instead of the
Yeah,
the
so
game chat.
at some point my tabs got like
Messed up.
really messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure. Yeah.
So, okay, hold on. So we told her the whole story. Did that include the part where the philosopher, I don't know if surmised is the right word, or said matter-of-factly that the reason that orcs have no control is because they've been cut off from their god for these, however many hundreds or thousands of years, right?
I don't remember all the
Yeah, so
details. Shit's been forever.
you would have told her that the philosopher basically said, we used to be a race of people, and whatever this war, this ancient prehistory war between the orcs and Skurzak, the culmination and sort of final blow that the Skurzak dealt to the orcs was to somehow manifest the god, slay him or disable him, and that has led to the current state of things.
So I want to make reference to that part of the story as Hart, and look at Bruce and just kind of say, I may not be very smart, but if even a part of what he said about the Skurzak making the orcs this way is true, don't we owe it as people in search of knowledge like yourself to find out?
I don't want you to misconstrue the primary focus of my profession to being the acquiring of knowledge. Knowledge is as much a weapon as a knife in the back or the poison in a cup. My job is to protect the nation of Lumerlin, the people who live there, and ensure in perpetuity that we continue to exist.
That just seems cynical and heartless.
I have been called many things in my life. You don't get to a position such as this, especially being what I am, without having a bit of pragmatism about the way you go about things. And so from what I've been told and what I can see, a millennia of violence and destruction and terror can be put to an end. And we assume that's true.
You don't know what'll happen if you kill it.
You
don't even know if you can kill it.
I certainly don't know the specifics, but I do know a lot about killing. And I certainly
killed a god?
I cannot claim to have killed a god before.
I have.
And Lillian walks in. I've killed a god before.
You're
Yeah,
drunk again.
Do you not recall?
Go home, you drunk Lillian.
It's what I made this out of. I gesture to the giant, like, white, cloak, like, wolf cloak that I've got on. Certainly not the entire god, but, an arbiter of one nonetheless.
That, like, different than actually killing a god? Pretty sure that's a lot different.
It's a lot different, but closer than any of you have come. And how much of the conversation have I overheard up to this point?
You walk in and have heard them talking about killing the Great Tusk One, and get the sense that Bruce is advocating for that to be the next course of action.
Yeah, I will say as they've mentioned, between Zugon and Korna, it's evident that orcs are capable of more than we've given them credit for. What we're seeing here, this abuse of a god and the mutilation and salvage of its corpse, that is the reason that the orcs are the way they are. And you can feel one way or the other about your faith individually, but I have communed with one of the great pantheon of gods, and he informed me that we need to set right the balance by freeing the orc from this torture that he's in.
See, balance, that's what I said.
On a rare occasion, you can be correct, Celine.
You shut your pie hole.
And
Maybe I should have sided with Bruce. I don't approve the way you're talking to me again.
She looks between all of you, and you can tell she's taking it all in. But she probably doesn't seem super convinced yet. And she says,
sure.
Well, take me to the castle. I'll meet this other orc. I can speak with Dr. Sachiba. And
what is an orc?
And we can figure out what to do next.
Last thing I do want to say, just remember, comparing wolves to rabbit, they're like rabbits killing wolves is not a very good metaphor for humans killing gods, because, you know, it's a lot different when you start getting the divine into this. Just saying.
Well, yeah, I can't claim to be a master theologian. My expertise is much more in the physical, but
look, I just lived in the woods forever.
I hear what you're saying. I would like to let's get every trail, every piece of evidence, and we can go from there. And so presumably you all will call the airship or march through the city or some aspect of travel back to Castle Pertswell, with soldiers in tow Agent Bruce with you. And let me drop here. And we'll move these down. And so you arrive at the castle to rousing cheers and hollering, and people have busted out like instruments to play fanfare as the airship lands on the airship field. The doctor and Zugan and everybody rushes out to celebrate the victory at Meridian Square. All of these individuals that were either incapable of fighting or decided to stay back and wait for this final reckoning day are just ecstatic with relief that you have succeeded. And this is a perfect time for us to take a short break for potty time and water and jumping jacks. And we will be right back in 5-ish minutes for our last hour of the show as the Sash Bearers and the Woodsman and everybody involved hashes out a plan for what to do on the other side of the portal.
I forget how much fun my ball is.
You bouncing?
No, I'm balancing, though.
Good for your legs.
I can bounce, though.
It's good for his core, too.
Nah, it's not. I was going to say it's my core. My legs a little bit, because I do shift my legs around to help balance.
All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I will be right back.
Okay, I'm going to refill my water.
What is an alphin? Does anyone know what an alphin is?
I don't think I've heard that.
What about a bogwin?
Bogwin? I think
Bogwin?
So. Like some
sort of Celtic thing.
Yeah, I think it might be some sort of Celtic thing.
Okay.
If you look in the Discord, I'm working on making some heraldry.
Oh, okay.
So it's not exporting the same way it appears. You're what?
I said I'm also doing that. It's real bad.
Your heraldry is bad?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's all good. You sure this music's not from Final Fantasy? Swear to fucking God, man.
It does sound very Final Fantasy.
Be right back. I'm back.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, huh? Yoink.
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 All right, check this one out, boys.
Check your own thing out, boy.
What?
I don't fucking know you.
I don't know why that one showed up so fucking weird, or that other one I posted, but
Nice though.
you like my dog lord heraldry?
I do.
I feel like that. I don't like that it goes over the diamond, but I would have to go complete reverse order of operations to make it go under the diamond now. I'll do it.
Those are cool looking wolf things, though. I like that.
Yeah, they're technically foxes, but I think they look a lot better than the other wolf that was above it.
Yeah, for sure. They look way better. I would stick with those.
Yeah. I really like
Yeah.
the deer one too, but I haven't
Feels
done that much with deer, so it doesn't seem like it would make much sense.
Right.
There is a cat on here. Oh my god, that's hideous. That is truly a hideous cat.
No such thing, man.
I don't know, man.
I do. You can trust me. I'm an expert.
You like that cat?
Super great. I love it.
You're too kind to cats.
It's not true. Can't be too kind.
Do you think that the two fox heads should be different colors or the same colors?
I like the two different colors.
I like two different colors, but the red and the white don't jive.
Should I do black?
I feel like
A black and
I
white
was
with a
gonna
red
say, like,
axe?
I don't even. If you do the black, like, just the way the colors, like, the white one looks great. The red one, like,
Yeah.
I love red, but those colors just don't. I don't know. They just don't stick out as much. It looks not as
Yeah.
good because it's so dark or something. I don't know.
So what colors should they be to pop out?
I have
I almost
no idea.
feel
Like,
like
the
you
white
should
one's
just
great.
switch the highlight colors on the white one.
I
white and
can't,
red one.
unfortunately.
Oh,
Like, I think the white one's good as is. The red one, I don't know. It's just like both are dark colors, and that's the issue. The one on the right is like a lighter
And-
color and then a darker gray.
can you mirror the red one?
No, I can't turn them either.
What the
It's a
hell
pretty
program
limited-
are you using?
The online program I found for making heraldry. There might be a better one out there. I don't know.
Maybe, baby.
Maybe, baby, I have you. Maybe,
Maybe, baby.
you'll be true.
Actually, I might be able to. Let's try something. It has been exporting different than it's been being generated,
So weird.
so I might be able to export it and it'll look different. Let's test it, shall we? No, it didn't work.
Maybe.
This might be wild. Whoa. That's not right. That's very silly. What are you making noises for, Nate? Doing?
I'm just singing a certain song.
We got a song in our hearts.
We're missing a video.
We're missing
It's like
a video.
all blurred out or something.
Yeah,
like
Nacho
something's
has
covering it.
disappeared.
He was tired of you guys all staring at him while he was.
Oh, it does look
asleep.
like he covered up his camera.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Ignacio, are you back?
Wow, you scared him off. Good job.
I did.
Yeah,
I'm
Hunter.
here.
Oh, he's here. Sweet.
Okay.
Oh, all the
Yeah.
cameras are frozen now.
Wow,
dope,
Hunter,
man.
wow.
Okay, is everybody unfrozen?
Where is Topher?
Topher's here.
It's dope.
Yeah, I'm right here.
His camera is still
There
frozen.
is in the southeastern United States.
You're
Oh no,
frozen.
there we go. All right, we're all here.
So if anyone wants to go murder
Let
him,
it go, man.
let it go.
Okay,
Let it
go.
so
Let it go in my
Go on,
ass.
Kilo Cod.
the people of Pertswell Castle celebrate the heroic return of the Sash Bearers and their fighters. There is immediately a like celebration on. They've like got food made. The whole courtyard of the castle has like tables set up and people playing instruments and fanfare as the various individuals of your dedication spread out to their friends and family and share tales of the battle and what's happened and that sort of thing. Do you guys partake, or is this like business time to take Agent Bruce back with the doctor and Zugon? What's the course of action?
Well, I would like to participate, but Agent Bruce probably won't give me the time. Trying to ruin my special day.
Jesus, what are you, fucking 17 again?
Yes.
Jesus.
It's my party, and I'll cry if I
I'm
want
always-
to.
I'm always 17. It's my heritage.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's sort of chaotic as people are like handing you drinks and carousing and cheers are rising up. And people are passing out food and that sort of thing. The doctor is obviously very pleased, but also sort of is looking curious about the exact, like the details of what has happened. Bruce is kind of like observing, as she always is. Doesn't really make any indication of like wanting to hurry up or anything like that. So I mean, it's
Okay.
sort of
Well, then, yeah.
in your ballpark right now.
Well, then, yeah, I'll have a friggin' drink and tell some stories of our heroism.
Yeah, and so yeah, the castle celebrates. It is a big feast and drinking and
That's cheating.
I rolled a critical hit on rumor out of 108.
And so what are you trying to rumor?
I want to spin tales of our heroism.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, a crit success, you stand up on a table and just like, you know, like the scalds of old Winter King.
Some guy's got a drum.
Yeah, you like set the scene as you begin to regale, like almost in song, of what happened. Yeah. So a guy like beating on the drum and everybody's like enraptured. And again, Agent Bruce will kind of like come over to like Nabeen and be like, I don't remember her being like this when you guys left.
She might be drunk. I'm not really sure.
I'm a little drunk.
Elves can't hold their liquor, so I'm not shocked.
Yeah, just the
Hey, absolutely end the rumor storytelling with like an axe throw across the room at some target.
yeah, just like the, you know, and now is the time to strike at the very heart of the Skurzak menace, and you hurl this axe, and it like
Hoorah!
punctures a hole in a cask of beer and begins like frothing out, and people like raise a cheer and begin filling their cups from the cask.
I do. Was she always like this? That's so funny to me.
Well, yeah, because it's been like 2 weeks or so since
Yeah.
she last saw you, and your fervor and sort of religiosity has definitely increased, sort of
Yeah,
because
I experienced a couple of divine interventions
Yeah,
since then.
and of course there's the sort of mechanical, like assuming the class and everything like that. But yeah, so definitely a very noticeable change for Agent Bruce. And yeah, so the party continues. The castle is inspired. The people are happy that the immediate threat of this Beastman war horde has been quelled. And just again, the sort of the seeming miracle that everybody who left returned to the castle, despite some injuries and one severely wounded person. This Hoarfrost dedication stands to the man as they left, and so just a great success among the people here. And Agent Bruce, again, it remains aloof, kind of, that like observing, sort of calculating personality that she always has. And she will eventually come to collect all of you, and ask that we have a sit down with the doctor and Zugon, and I'm assuming Korna is with you.
I will try and bring her along. So.
Yeah, if she's comfortable.
Yeah.
Celine probably doesn't even notice that, if she even cares.
If she's comfortable. She will agree to come. She doesn't look super like
Don't worry,
at ease.
there are other orc.
That's okay. That's
One
me
other
too.
orcs.
Yeah. And you will all enter into the keep of the castle as people are still celebrating. And oh wait, that's the wrong one. Here we go. You sit down in that sort of like, actually, do I still have the map? Not that it really matters, but that like common area where the doctor's lab, like various rooms connect to. And so Agent Bruce kind of sits among all of you here, clasps her hands in front of her, and she says, the Sash Bearers seem to think that we shouldn't kill the Great Tusked One. And they seem to think that you, Dr. Yunzo, would have some evidence to provide me in addition to what they have shared and of their experiences to convince me of some alternative path. And he kind of looks to all of you and looks to Agent Bruce and Zugan, and he says, well, I'll try and provide everything that I know. What is the alternative? And he asked, he's asked you, yeah. He asked everybody here.
We defeat the Skurzak. We banish them. But we are substantially outnumbered, so we will need some sort of anti-Skurzak something to stand even a chance.
Okay. And Bruce will kind of interject and say, well, in the killing of the Great Tusked One would require
the same thing.
A similar, if not through direct confrontation, at least precise operation or, subterfuge, commando strike kind of thing.
Freeing him could be substantially easier because we only need to get enough of them off of him, or maybe even just defeat the fungus growing out of him in order for his own power to cast off the Skurzak. He's not dead.
And the doctor considers and locks eyes with Agent Bruce. And he says, well, that is also certainly an option. My understanding of the orcs is purely from what I've been able to observe. I have studied them. I've studied the life cycle, how it interacts with other living things, this sort of mold, spores that infect and spread. I, unfortunately, cannot definitively say either way if killing him or freeing him or in some way modifying what the Skurzak have done. I can only speculate on the results of these actions. I certainly understand Agent Bruce's position.
Sure.
I also understand and can extrapolate from what you are proposing. This is one of those times where we simply don't know. And Bruce leans forward and she says, does that sound like the type of situation to risk another 1,000 years of violence and killing and transformation Is that the coin we're gonna flip?
I can see how, from your point of view, it could seem like a coin flip. From my point of view, I already know what the outcome is.
And she leans back and she says, "This is presumably provided by the Winter King."
He's provided a lot, as you can see.
And she nods. Like, clearly I've witnessed within the short time that I've been here your connection to this divine power. And I've heard from your companions and yourself the messages and implications and portends that have been provided. I am still wary.
I narrow my eyes, and then I throw up.
What she was trying to say is you should be wary with either option, because in the end we don't know what's gonna happen. And if it was the philosopher who said, like, the whole reason there's this black gunk is because of what the Skurzak are doing.
Yes.
If what the philosopher says is true, and he seemed pretty knowledgeable about all these things and, like, creating the portal and shit and getting to that, and all of it was right, then freeing him could fix the orcs, and they could be, I guess, they could become allies for all we know and deal with other things like Skurzak and shit.
And
there's that possibility.
And Bruce counters to reiterate, the information that the philosopher was providing you was seemingly provided directly from the Great Tusked One, correct? As he enhanced this connection to his deity, was gifted these visions and information and prophecy, right?
I don't know, was it? Did he ever say?
That was sort of the implication, yeah.
Okay, implication, yeah. Because there's a lot of shit and I struggle to remember stuff.
No, yeah, that's fair. And she'll say, wouldn't that be the perfect way to free oneself? You know, if a caged animal sees an out, wouldn't you think they would take whatever means that they could get?
Possibly, yeah.
I can see your skepticism, but we've already told you of our communing with another member of the Pantheon, a separate god.
I mean, why would the...
And you're suggesting genocide of an entire species.
I am. Go ahead.
I don't know why the Winter King would want, like, the orcs back exactly. Like, what does he gain out of it? I really don't know. Like, Celine and I know, like, nothing about the Winter King or what he is after or about or anything, but he likes doggos.
Yeah, so I mean that is a fair assessment from Celine's point of view. And Bruce will say, okay.
I am wary of snakes, but I don't want to destroy all of them.
Again, Celine used a similar metaphor. This idea of predation and prey and risk. And this whole angle with the Winter King and the Pantheon is an end that I cannot account for or tie up. But I still...
Why should you get to make this decision?
Well, you've certainly heard the saying before, the idea that wishing that somebody lives in interesting times is often a curse as much as it is a blessing. We, and I say that in the broadest of sense, we as sentient beings, we as humans, elves, dwarves, humanoids, often find ourselves in these positions where we have to make decisions. And I certainly didn't...
When it comes to destroying an entire race of people, or God.
When it comes to protecting the things that I know matter to me, certainly. I've had to make very hard decisions. Maybe not quite on this. Certainly you have. I mean, I know your history, Nabeen.
You know nothing.
Johnston.
I've made countless decisions, not on this scale, but in this vein of what should be sacrificed, what should be eliminated, what could be a threat in the future, what is worth gambling on. I simply maintain that given the opportunity that we have, we should make the best of it. Two birds with one stone.
Let's think about this gamble. It's definitely a gamble. We don't know what's going to happen. And you want to kill us. Say we do kill him. And say, because we don't know what could happen. What if something worse comes in? What if something more powerful comes in? And what if they hate us and and they're worse than the orcs? We know the orcs. We've dealt with them. What if it's something new, something we haven't seen before? Like, what if, say, I'm going to assume Celine knows some about this. I don't know for sure. I have a highest balls incantation folklore. What if something like a Daemon Prince rose up and brought things we've never encountered or seen before? Obviously a stretch, but we don't know. That's just it. Do you really want to be the one responsible for causing what could possibly wipe us all out? Or would you rather stick with what we know and dealing with the enemy that we know?
That is certainly
the devil you know.
Yes, exactly. Lillian says if she wipes her mouth.
On the ground.
Yeah.
Devil you know.
I've got another flagon I found.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Jesus, Lillian, you have a problem.
I've earned this. Do you know how many people I've been worried about today? All of them!
I thought I was the problem party member. This is bullshit. We've role reversed and I hate it.
Let me have my 10 minutes.
Take her to her fucking room. Jesus Christ, you're back to the fucking party. I don't care. Please.
And Bruce will allow Lillian to be removed if needed.
I'll approach Lillian and see if she allows me to take her away.
Yeah, I can't really see faces at this point.
Christ, why do I have to be the adult in the group?
I'll usher you off to the room.
The youngest one here.
Yeah. When Hart returns, Bruce will acknowledge Celine's point.
Nacho was so tired.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand.
He's
Poor
earned
guy. You're right.
The idea that if, say, we remove the orcs threat permanently, the possibility of something assuming this space or this mantle or I'm not entirely convinced of this idea of the zero-sum godhood. From what you have told me, and from what the information that this philosopher provided you from what he's learned, I personally don't think the risk of
Yes, you've made that.
the risk of a greater threat emerging is as pertinent or urgent as the risk of an empowered orc's hood, an orc's population among us already. We can certainly speculate on what things could be out there in the cosmos, in the pantheon, in the hells below us. But
again, we've been told by a god.
Yeah, but she does have, or Agent Bruce does have a point that God, do you mean the Winter King?
The
Yeah.
Winter King.
Yes, sorry. And
Yeah,
that's
so-
one thing I wanted to bring up. Why would the Winter King not want us to kill a god? Like, any thoughts or speculation? What are your thoughts on that? Why would the Winter King not want that? I have one big thing for what I might think of that.
what are your
Fear.
thoughts, Celine?
Fear.
Fear of
Why
what?
would he... A threat? Something more dangerous than the Orcs one that he's willing to let the Orcs god be brought back to normal? Why else would he not? Because otherwise, why wouldn't he care if the Orcs the Orcs god died? Like, he's the Winter King. What the hell does he need to worry about, why is that such a problem for him? Why should he care? Shouldn't he be happy that's another god out of the pantheon and out of the way? Unless there's something else he fears more.
There certainly, as I said, this angle of the Winter King is one that I have difficulty squaring with what we have so far.
Then why don't we just go see for ourselves?
What do you suggest, Hart?
We created a portal to a location that will not cause us to be immediately detected by the Skurzak. Why don't we go and observe?
Maybe I'm gonna see the two dicks.
So,
You
reconnaissance.
can make an assessment once we're there.
This is...
Oh, I have an important question for Corna. Sorry.
Okay,
I
yeah.
guess I'll let...
Go ahead, and then she'll finish.
Yeah, because if we want to, say, whatever we plan to do, I want to know, if Corna, since she, has some experience with mushrooms, if there's a way we can attach this without killing the host, or remove it or make it wither or something. I feel like she'd be the best expert on this.
Yeah, and she'll think, and you can tell she's sort of running through both what Bruce is saying about killing the god and all of that, and your question. And she says, well, as we are now, orcs have this symbiotic parasitism relationship with this fungus. The what are the little ones called? I already forgot what they were called. The
Boggins or
yeah,
something?
boogans. Yeah, the boogans.
Yeah, boogans.
Boogan babies.
Boogans are spawned from mushroom incubators. And she gestures to her face. this witch stone that the Skurzak implanted into me somehow warped or activated my latent, the miasma to grow in this way. I assume there is some way to kill it. It being the miasma prime, this whatever this mushroom thing is that has been placed into the heart of the Great Tusk One. I also acknowledge, as much as I hate to say it, that killing the host would almost certainly kill the fungus as well. And even more would probably be easier than trying to only kill the infection. I can do some more research. I can do my best to find ways or read through the books in my tower and experiment and provide you with a better answer. But right now, what I can say is that removing the infection and preserving the host will be a greater task than simply killing it all and letting it wither.
What if we just try to kill the infection and not the host? What do you think could happen if we fail? Would the host just die anyways?
There's always a risk. I in my days of growing Bugin have tried to remove the Bugin incubators from the hosts. Of course, the hosts have always died. It's a delicate thing, right? When one's heart is infused with this infection, it takes a steady hand and a careful practice to remove only what you want to remove.
Oh man, I'm not even there. I've done this before.
Yeah, and actually, that's sort of like reminds like Hart and Celine for sure of both when Corna actually did this in front of you.
Yeah, she dissected it and removed it safely, and then Lillian talked her out of eating it.
Yeah, and safely.
No, literally, that was like a evisceration.
Yes,
magic.
Safely is maybe not the best word for it, because what was left over was a pile of heart scraps. But she did remove the miasma, so you know that she has at least partial experience in this realm, right, of removing miasma from the hearts of the cowtipede, right?
And I have experience removing physical objects.
Yeah. So also the spider orcs, removing the infectious spiders was another thing that you guys did.
Ooh, thematics.
And so Corna gives the impression that obviously she doesn't want to kill the Orcs god. But given that she is a trusted and sort of included part in this discussion, has to acknowledge that doing anything other than just straight up killing the already near-death orcs god is going to be a greater task. It's going to be more involved, more complicated. There's going to be risks and trade-offs versus, just a blow to the host, kill it all, let the elder gods sort it out kind of thing. So to circle back to what Corna was, or to what Bruce was responding to, I actually don't remember what the question was.
Yeah. Should let you finish.
Someone. Oh, we were talking about. Oh, the Winter King. So why, what's the deal with the Winter King providing Lillian with what he has? Bruce basically says, while I acknowledge that there is a small, unquantifiable, outlier to this whole situation. The idea that the Winter King showed Lillian some kind of vision and instructed her to save the Great Tusked One. And this is Bruce speaking.
Yeah.
Personally am averse to the idea of risking a world-changing event upon the prophecies of a single elfin priestess. And I say that as an elf, as an individual of Lumerlin who has suffered the prejudices that you all have seen in your lives. This is, in my opinion, too great the stakes are too high to rely on the words of a holy person interpreting the visions and vagaries and metaphors that the divine often speak in.
Yikes.
And I know that you all value her input and hold her to an esteem as sort of like a pseudo leader. But when we weigh every concrete piece of evidence and observation and information that we have against a single unaccounted for variable, I still stand by my assessment. And Hart, the idea of a reconnaissance, I strongly support this. If we get in there and we see what's going on and something stands out as potentially lending credence to the idea of not removing these threats, then I certainly am open to that possibility.
I simply ask you to observe with your own eyes, as I trust my Lady Lillian's assessment.
And she again says, I'm not asking you to disregard what Lillian has said. I am simply on this scale, and she means like as we weigh what we know, the weight that I ascribe to physical evidence and observable information currently outweighs the esteem that I put in Lillian's connection with the Winter King.
And Hart just kind of nods.
And that is she kind of adjourns the meeting, depending on if anybody has anything to say.
Done. She has nothing, she obviously can't convince her, so.
And
I've tried multiple different things and angles, so.
Yeah, and it's not that she can't be convinced. It's that from her perspective looking in, especially with her background and how she has operated her entire life,
and her distrust of Lillian in entirety.
Well, and it's not even, it's not even like a personal distrust of Lillian.
It's like personal disgust for Lillian. I got it.
It's like a fucked up pseudo atheism.
Yeah, or
not necessarily that she doesn't think gods are real, but maybe they don't have our best interests at heart, or that I'm failing.
Yeah, it's like it's this. The degrees of removed she is from the information, combined with this very worldly, I'm gonna assassinate this prince who could in the future be a threat to Lumerlin security kind of thing.
As opposed to the elf who is spared 3 orcs' lives at this point, killed a noble human in defense of an orcs with no power.
Yeah. And so it's and again, it's presenting to Agent Bruce, presenting this opportunity to seemingly remove entirely one of civilization's greatest problems. You are seeing that it is hard to steer her away from the certainty of, we could do this and we almost for sure know how it would turn out. And in her perspective, her opinion, net positive, no more orcs. That's one less enemy, one less variable to consider when it comes to the protection of Lumerlin and its interests and its people. And so I definitely don't want to portray her as just single-minded, completely unrelenting. Yeah. It's just that
she is.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's a CIA agent. She's a cop.
Yeah,
this is
who are
as
also
good as cops can
bloodthirsty
be.
killers.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm not a bloodthirsty killer.
Whoa.
I don't know what you're talking about.
At this point, Celine actually wants the fucking orc god to die just to see what'll happen and hope something worse will come up, and then she can be like, man, you really screwed the pooch on this one, huh? You doomed humanity. How does that feel?
I love that Celine, the motivation, the idea that you are happy with the idea of a greater apocalypse, literally just to be like, I told you so, is very
That's
funny.
Not even that crazy. That's half the people in this country vote, frankly.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. That's very on character for Celine.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely.
I also have to say, regardless of the fact that what the cause was, that you had to talk behind my back, it was gonna happen. because there was not like, if I was not drunk and escorted out, I would have been like, this is not a conversation we're having because there's no discussion to be had.
Yeah.
Like, so this like talking behind my back would have had to happen probably either way for Mrs. Bruce.
Yeah,
here.
because she is effectively discounting
Everything that you are.
Well, and I don't want to say everything that you are, but like you said, one of these sort of divine intervention moments that you had with the Winter King, where you are pretty explicitly shown this idea of like the pantheon and everything. She's like, okay, that's cool, but I think there's something missing, or I think you're interpreting it wrong, or I think, this isn't concrete enough to fully integrate into the situation that we're looking at here. And I could absolutely
to your God King and see what he says.
I can absolutely see why Lillian would. I can absolutely see why Lillian would not.
My god is the God King's dad. My dad can beat up your dad.
It is very funny that's like pretty much exactly true. that
Yeah.
the God King was in the established canon a follower of the Winter King until he sort of did the Jesus thing and ascended to godhood.
Yeah. Do they hate each other?
No, it's
no.
It's more like
it's more of a mutual respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
They stand for similar things, but it's a different ends justify the means sort of outlook.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Celtic druidism in relation to like Christianity. It's like, we believe in spirits and nature and the goodness of people and all of that, but in
Lillian,
different ways.
Lillian, I just want to know how it feels to be called out for the liar that you are.
Hey man, he's lucky that I was drunk. He was lucky. Or she was lucky, sorry. It's always so funny because it's Agent Bruce, which sounds so much like a man's name.
Yeah.
That's a last name? That's
Yeah.
a last name.
I know it's a last name.
Yeah, her first name's Farlaria.
It's Bruss. I said it earlier.
You did, yeah. Farlaria Bruce. And so that's probably where we will call the session. As plans are in works for a reconnaissance mission, potentially.
Yeah.
That Hart suggested to maybe convince Agent Bruce of a different path. Or at least,
or Lillian can just push her down the mountain.
Well, I mean,
that could also happen. We could leave her on the other side of a portal to who knows where.
You guys know me well enough. You guys know me fully well enough that if this person tries to undermine something that I've been divinely told, I'm gonna kill them. I'm honor bound to kill them.
So here's my thing. We don't even know if the other side of this portal is on this same planet in the same dimension. We could just leave her there. We could just leave her there.
Good.
I don't know if we would want to do that, but we certainly could. It sounds like a really good way for a villain creation.
I mean, she could be a potentially.
She comes back as a half Skurzak, half mushroom, plane walking.
Yep. Witch hunter.
That she has to teach Morg to be a witch hunter.
That's true.
Who?
I don't know about all that.
Morg is Nate's character from the interlude.
Yeah, we had talked about it, and I'm like, oh my god, Morg would be, because of everything that happened, Morg would be like the perfect character to like go down that path and be like Agent Bruce.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Funny you should mention that. And so yeah, that's where we will call the session for tonight. Thank you for watching. I apologize, Ignacio. I understand that it's super late and that you're very tired. And
traveling to South America.
Yeah. From 3 hours in the future because daylight savings time is stupid.
Oh man, I'm traveling 2 hours in the future next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing some time travel.
Well, so he's 4 hours in the future from you.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So yeah, thank you for playing. Thank you all for watching. This has been Scarlet Sash Stories, a production of Fiends and Friends in partnership with ZweihanderRPG. We have a bunch of other shows that you should check out.
Hell yeah.
Man.
Tomorrow.
One of these days, I'm gonna eat shit on this ball.
That would be very funny.
It will be very fucking funny.
Tomorrow, Saturday,
Oh, shit.
at noon Central,
No.
Yeah, normal time.
we will be doing the first episode of our short Call of Cthulhu investigation, where we're integrating some new characters and bringing some old long-form characters in to do some spooky horror stuff as we are preparing for a new Dragon Age long-form season coming up.
I get to be a reaver in that one.
On Monday at 9 Central in the evening, we will be doing Forbidden Frontier. We are also onboarding a new character into that show. That is a weird Western 5th edition show. And then Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central, we are doing session 2 of Tales of Zadia, which is the Dragon Prince RPG. We have just crashed a flying city into a mountain, and so now we're figuring out how to handle that situation. And then, of course, next Friday, a week from now, will be episode 26 of Scarlet Sash Stories, where we presumably enter the portal and explore the corpse of the fallen god of the orcs. And
Still sad it wasn't his butthole. We could have explored it from the
you can
inside.
still go there.
We can still go there.
Yeah.
No.
It just involves
It's
some
a damn
rope.
field trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, this is
wow.
like the magic school bus shit when they go inside the body.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do a full anatomy lesson. So tune in for that.
About how orcs gods have 2 penises.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I gotta find out.
Or free.
Or 3. You never know.
You never know.
So with
What
that,
if he's got
we
a
will
turtle penis?
end the stream before any more suggestions can be made. Thank you for watching. You're wonderful, and we will see you tomorrow on Fleeting Fiends. On Fiends and
No.
Friends channel for Call of Cthulhu.